Today, we're going to address another false concept, a concept that doesn't really believe. If you watched last week's podcast, it was entitled White Jesus, because we have this large belief among Christendom that Jesus was white, the disciples were white, and that's just really not the case. That's been perpetuated because of the artwork and the paintings and the things that were really created by people at a time when lighter skin was valued over dark skin, light was good, dark was bad, right was right, and left was wrong. And there are just a lot of things that we have come to misunderstand and then perpetuate false ideas. About 20 years ago, maybe more than that, there's also been this false concept that Jesus and God support the Republican Party. And it just simply is not true. God does not endorse countries and political parties, even though the Old Testament gives some false implications based on who was writing the story. It's kind of, if you have a person writing their story to their people, it's less likely to be completely without prejudice, you know. But anyway, so when we're looking at this whole idea of politics, we must know and understand that boundaries of cities and countries and political organizations are all man-made constructs. God did not create political structures. God did not create boundaries and countries and borders. Those are things created solely by humans. Those are not created by God, nor are they ordained or endorsed by God. Now, I must say, we have had Republican leaders that I did not vote for, that I did not agree with, but I respected them. There are some that I truly believed they were doing what they thought was right without any other criminal endeavors or selfishness driving what it is they do. There have also been Democratic leaders that I have voted for that I did not respect. There have been Democrats, Republicans, and independents that I've agreed with at times and disagreed with at times. That doesn't mean that I'm going to just remain quiet and standing by when I see these ideas of false concepts going. My opinion, kind of the hijacking of the Republican Party that had claimed to be the Christian party, which that also wasn't true. I mean, there are Christian Democrats, there are Christian Republicans, there are non-Christian Democrats, there are non-Christian Republicans. There are hypocrites of all faiths, of all political groupings. So that's not the deciding factor that some churches even say. I will say I have no desire to be part of a church that is political in that they rouse their people, try and convince their people to be part of one party or another. I have left churches because of that in the past, and I assume I will leave churches because of that in the future. Because to me, God does not favor one party over the other. Although I do know that God and Jesus do favor certain behaviors because we are called to love all people. We are called to love our neighbors as ourselves. So when I look at the actions of the leadership of the Republican Party and the complicitness of some that I used to think were honorable people, but have just kind of rolled over and not done what's right, I do judge and evaluate their behaviors based on what I believe we are called as human beings to be, and we are called to love and care for all people. Um, when if you have more than your neighbors, you're called to put another seat at your table. You're not called to build a wall to keep them out. You're not called to I have more than them, but I'm afraid they're going to want what I have, so I need to make sure they get less so that they know their place and they stay on their side of the fence. That's just simply not correct human behavior, much less talking about correct Christian behavior. And when you look at the foundations in all religious groups and sects, even non Christian religions, it's about being loving and kind and treating others with dignity and respect. It's not about taking from others so that you have more. That's just simply not what it's about. And this whole concept of if you're a Christian, you have to be a Republican is just simply not true. And in fact, if we just look at the first half of the year 2025, and really we can go back even farther than that, we can look at probably the last 16 to 20 years. That's when the Republican Party got hijacked by these people uh, who were manipulating and using the people of faith to get them to support them, even when they were doing things that are insupportable. So, in preparing for this um, podcast, I didn't really want to preach against the Republicans, but what I do want to speak out against is claiming that one particular political party is the party of God or the party of Jesus or endorsed by Jesus and God when it simply is not true. When you examine the behaviors and the legislative agendas and the things that have been done to enrich the rich and strip away things from the poor, locking people up, creating new concentration camps like the Germans did, and just turning a blind eye to that behavior and then claiming that, oh, what a great Christian the Speaker of the House is. I don't see any evidence that he could possibly be Christian and supporting the things he's doing. But he will have to account for his behaviors. But um, uh, a member of the House of Representatives from the state of Virginia actually posted on her Instagram page, and I'm going to show a little bit of that. I don't believe I'm violating any copyright by doing this because this is publicly available on her Instagram page, and I'm not making any money off of sharing my thing here. So I think that I'm good because it's publicly available. So I'm just going to show just a little bit of her right here. While looking back over things that I've written about this false concept of Republican God or Republican Jesus, I came across this Instagram by Representative McClellan, I believe of Virginia, and I want you to hear this.
Mr. Speaker, I hear some of my friends on the other side of the aisle, including Mr. Speaker, who says, if you want to know my political philosophy, read the Bible. I did. I grew up reading it. And as I listened to the debate, on the billionaire bonus bill, I couldn't help but think of Matthew 25, verses 31 through 46.
There you go. Matthew 25.
Where Jesus said that when he came into his glory in heaven, and all the nations of the earth would come and be divided, and he would turn to the righteous and say, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father, take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you cared for me. I was in prison, and you visited me." And the righteous will say, "Well, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink?
This
When
right
did we
here.
see you a stranger and invite
This
you
right
in?
here.
Or you needing clothes and we clothed you? When did we see you sick or in prison and take care of you or visit you?" And the king will reply, "Truly I tell you, whatever you did for the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you did for me." And he will say to the others, "Depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire prepared for you. For I was hungry, and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you did not invite me in. I needed clothes, you did not clothe me. I was sick and in prison, and you did not look after me." And they will say, "When did we do this?" I'm paraphrasing a little bit. "Truly I tell you, whatever you did not do for the least of these, you did not do for me." And that's the verse that's been sticking in my mind for the last 2 weeks, particularly when we dealt with the Medicaid cuts and the SNAP cuts.
Well, I hope you took the meat of what uh, uh, Representative McClellan had to say here, because she's right on the money. She's right on the money. I don't know a lot about her personally. I don't know if she really walks the walk that matches her talk, but I appreciate what she said here, and what she said here is correct. And my prayer is that this truly is coming from her heart and not from her politics. And I feel like this came from her heart, and so that's why I'm sharing it, because this is what would come from my heart in this situation. I have always been proud to be an American, being raised in the 60s and 70s. That's what we were taught to do. We were taught to be patriotic and things like that. But I'm not proud to be an American in this year. And I am praying and looking for the day when America wakes up and no longer supports these anti-Christian behaviors and policies, while at the same time claiming to be Christian. It's just hypocrisy, pure and simple. So, if you didn't see last week's podcast, White Jesus, um, my conversation on White Jesus and Republican Jesus are parallel conversations. God's not in the box that we've created. God is not an endorser of political parties. God does call us to love our neighbors, and we are called to do that. And if we're doing the opposite of that, well, then clearly God is not pleased. I mean, if you're doing what you're not supposed to be doing, if you're hurting people, I mean, these same groups of people, the ones that want to post the 10 commandments in schools, okay, thou shalt not kill. So if you're doing things that kill people, you're violating the 10 commandments. So you can't ride two horses at the same time. Okay. Thank you for watching. If you've appreciated this content, be sure to like, share, and subscribe.